Hi everyone, I'm Viviana, and today I'll be doing my persuasive speech on the impact of excessive social media use on youth mental health. Imagine waking up every morning and immediately reaching for your phone. Before you've gotten out of bed, you've already compared your appearance, your life, and your accomplishments to hundreds of people online. Maybe you've seen someone on vacation, someone with the perfect body, or someone showing off going right in their life. For millions of teenagers, that isn't an occasional habit. It's how they begin and end every day. Whether you use social media yourself or you have younger siblings, children, or friends who do, this issue affects nearly everyone. Social media has become one of the biggest influences in young people's lives. While it allows us to communicate, share experiences, and stay connected, it also has a darker side that many people underestimate. To prepare this speech, I researched information from the U.S. Surgeon General, the American Psychological Association, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Institute of Mental Health, Pew Research Center, and several peer-reviewed studies. Today, I'd like to convince you that although social media provides many benefits, excessive use is harming the mental health of young people, and we should encourage healthier online habits. First, I'll explain how excessive social media affects youth mental health. Second, I'll discuss why these problems continue to grow. And finally, I'll present several practical solutions that can help reduce these harmful effects. So let's begin. Excessive social media use has become a serious public health concern because it is negatively affecting the mental health of young people across the United States. One of the biggest concerns is the growing connection between social media use and anxiety and depression. According to the U.S. Surgeon General's 2023 advisory, adolescents who spend more than 3 hours per day on social media have a significantly higher risk of experiencing symptoms of anxiety and depression. Think about that for a moment. 3 hours may sound like a long time, but many teenagers spend much more than that each day without even realizing it. Researchers Twenge and her colleagues also found that increased time was associated with higher rates of depressive symptoms and suicide-related outcomes among adolescents in the United States. While social media is not the only cause of mental health challenges, research consistently shows that excessive use can increase that risk. Another major issue is unrealistic comparison. Social media often shows us carefully edited versions of people's lives. Influencers, celebrities, and even our own friends usually post their happiest moments rather than their struggles. After constantly seeing these perfect images, it is easy to begin thinking that everyone else has a better life, looks better, or is more successful than we are. The American Psychological Association explains that repeated exposure to unrealistic images can lower self-esteem and increase body dissatisfaction, especially among adolescents who are still developing their identity. Over time, these comparisons can leave young people feeling like they're never good enough. Excessive social media use also contributes to cyberbullying and poor sleep. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can follow someone everywhere. Hurtful comments, embarrassing photos, or cruel messages don't stop when school ends. They can continue 24 hours a day. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that many teenagers experience cyberbullying, which increases emotional distress and negatively affects mental health. At the same time, many young people stay on their phones late at night. The constant notifications, videos, and messages make it difficult to put the phone down. This reduces sleep quality, making it harder to concentrate in school, regulate emotions, and perform academically. Poor sleep also increases stress and can make anxiety and depression even worse. Now that we understand the negative effects of excessive social media use, we have to ask ourselves an important question. Why do these problems continue to grow? One reason is that social media platforms are intentionally designed to keep users engaged for as long as possible. Features like endless scrolling, personalized recommendations, autoplay videos, and constant notifications encourage users to stay online far longer than they originally intended. You might tell yourself you're only going to check one notification, but 30 minutes later, you're still scrolling. The U.S. Surgeon General notes that these features can contribute to compulsive use, especially among adolescents whose brains are still developing. Another reason is that many young people have never been taught healthy digital habits. According to Pew Research Center, Many teenagers recognize that social media has both positive and negative effects, but they often struggle to manage their screen time. Without guidance from parents, teachers, or healthcare professionals, many adolescents don't recognize when social media is beginning to affect their mood, relationships, or mental health. Although these challenges are significant, there are realistic solutions that can reduce the harmful effects of social media. The first solution can start at home. Families can establish healthy boundaries around technology use. Something as simple as having a device-free dinner, or limiting screen time before bed, or encouraging face-to-face conversations can make a meaningful difference. Parents also play an important role by modeling healthy technology habits themselves. Research from the Common Sense Media suggests that these practices improve sleep quality, strengthen family relationships, and promote overall well-being. Schools can also make a difference by teaching digital literacy and mental health awareness. Students should learn how social media algorithms work, how edited content creates unrealistic expectations, and how to recognize cyberbullying and respond appropriately. Giving students these skills helps them become more thoughtful and responsible digital citizens while strengthening their emotional resilience. Finally, technology companies must continue improving protections for young users. They should strengthen parental controls, improve anti-bullying tools, reduce harmful algorithm recommendations, and provide resources that encourage healthier online behavior. The U.S. Surgeon General has emphasized that technology companies have an important responsibility to better protect children and adolescents using their platform. In conclusion, although social media provides valuable opportunities for communication, learning, and entertainment, excessive use has become a serious threat to youth mental health. Today, I explained how excessive social media use contributes to anxiety, depression, unrealistic comparisons, cyberbullying, and poor sleep. I discussed why these problems continue to grow through addictive platform designs and a lack of healthy digital habits. And finally, I shared several practical solutions involving individuals, families, schools, and technology companies. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. The next time you reach for your phone, remember that every click, swipe, and scroll affects more than just your screen time. It can also affect your mental health. By making healthier choices and encouraging responsible social media use, we can help create a healthier future for today's youth. Thank you so much for listening.